Hello everybody, I'm here for the Hammer Game channel. Welcome back to the New Order Last Days of Europe and to my Italian Empire playthrough, where we're joined by Pietronini. He's back. He's back because we're doing I've already explained it in the other episode that went up first. We're doing different routes. I'm showing them all off just so everyone's happy. So we went the opposite way because revolution by ballot does not work out. So let's use Berlinguer. So one of the most prominent members of the FD, and like many of our allies, he is a proud communist, hasn't made it a secret. But with his charisma and political intellect, he knows when to shut up and work with everyone if it means protecting the workers. Okay. So see if we can get the LibSocs to actually stick around this time. Think this we'll be able to. But obviously we'll have the battle for Italy happening, which we do not have political power to do because we don't have any flipping political power at all. Since we're losing it. At least we kind of get some down here. Good pensions. Acceptable pensions with good pensions. Okay. Siberian Workers' Federation is declared one of the Central Siberian Federation. Right, condemn the BN. Our media have started a merciless campaign aimed to strongly condemn the BN within their alliance. Are many who, a mere few years ago, proudly dressed in black shirts and happily paraded with their right arm extended. Whether they claim to respect democracy, we know how it will end once they occupy the highest offices. After all, they already did it once, 40 years ago. Yes, condemn them. Get them in the bin. To negotiate or not to negotiate? Luca held his morning paper with an iron grip. His knuckles turned white and his face beat red. He could not believe what he was reading. Right on the goddamn front page, the title, Moro to hold talks with Bellinger. May come to political agreement. Sent Luca into conniption. Well, Luca had always been a solid conservative voter, more inclined to support the Primavera faction of the party, or even the more moderate Dorate faction. He still accepted the leadership of Moro and Fanfare to lead the Christian Democrats to victory. Well, the recent election results did not turn out the way Luca was hoping. He was sure the Democratic Front would surely collapse like the pitiful house of cards they are. Then Italy could be saved from the dastardly socialists. But this was debilitating and humiliating betrayal to Luca and the party. How could Moro do this? Entered into talks with a known communist. What does it talk about? How to cripple the economy, perhaps how to further secularize the nation and dismiss the Holy Father's authority. Berlinguer is a dangerous radical who should have been sent packing long ago, and now Moro, the patsy, is no doubt conspiring with Berlinguer, the dirty commie, in order to further destroy Luca's beautiful Italy. The party cannot stand for this. Efforts must be made to resist this capitulation to the radicals and to replace Moro and his faction as the head of the party. The future of Italy depends on it. Oh well. Well, that is a shame, but we would have been negotiating with over here anyways if we had stuck with the Social Democrats. Blood and debate for sounds interesting. I vote for the FD as a vote for you. Unlike other parties, we actually care for the Italian people. We're the only ones who actually wish to help the workers free themselves rather than merely giving them scraps and calling it generosity. Don't trust the DC when they talk about their Christian social doctrine. The only true social doctrine is socialism, and we shall enforce it, clearing the way towards equality and prosperity for everyone. Remember, fellow Italians, to vote. Oh, smart academic base. Good, nice. Remember, fellow Italians, a vote for the BN is a vote for Mussolini, a vote for DC is a vote for business, and a vote for the FD is a vote for you. That's a pretty good slogan right there. 4 years ago, fascism came to power because those who should have stopped it were too divided to actually do anything. But some even worked with fascists in order to strengthen their own position, realizing too late fascists do not share the power they wanted all for themselves. Now we need to stand together so that the tragic mistakes of the past won't repeat themselves. Fascism is not over. It still lives in the hearts of those who would enslave us all to the will of the state. And the Great Romanian Games begin it, that's fine. If you truly care for freedom, for democracy, for Italy, then stand with the FD. Alright. Time to get Romania. Right, the Poles have won again, and they just don't unify it. What the hell? I don't know if they're not supposed to be able to, or what. They've won both times, and it's broke both times. I don't know if it's breaking actually. It might be what happens when they actually unify it, but it's not really unifying it, is it? Right, let's rally constitutional arc. Let's do it. That's fine. That's all good. Grab you. Let's go back in the positive plug of power, I guess. Here we have voting, universal voting. Simple bureaucracy. 8-hour day work. That's, gosh, 12 hours are hard, like, they are killer. Light in the darkness. Yes, and the Renaissance dawns. We've already read that one before, so I'm not going to bother reading it again. Still hate how we have exerted influence. It really is a dick. Right, the front reforged. With the FD finally strengthened and ready to fully support our government, we can start enacting our proposed reforms. Parliament already busy with activity, and the first drafts will be leaked for the ministries to prominent MPs for the most parties, so they can evaluate them and decide whether they will support them or not. And blood and debate for. Down with communism, down with the FD government. Get out of here, you crypto fascists. You don't even support this parliament anyways. When you're here and say that to my face, you traitorous fox conservatives, siding with the communist FD over your country, eh? Come on then. Order, order. The speaker tried in futility to bring the increasingly belligerent MPs to heel, but it was no use. The BN were hell-bent on raising hell due to their gripes with the left-wing government. The MPs from other parties from across the political spectrum were united in their fury at this disrespect. Then the first punch was thrown. It was unclear who threw that punch, but it was thrown nonetheless. And once it was, all hell broke loose until the guards entered the chamber to restore order. Parliament has become a boxing ring. Fantastic. Just what we needed. Just what we needed. The black spawn of the Reich. If you look into the abyss, yeah, we're not ever going to be attacking them. I can guarantee you that now. It's just a shame this is blocked unless Hermann Göring's unless there's a great game for all of them, because we know that now for Hungary and Romania. I don't know if there's one for France. Maybe after Romania, if that's the case, we're going to try and get them to join in as well. Right, the front reforged. Let's go ahead and do Rage Against the Machine. In a capitalist economy, those who toil on the factory floor are usually different from those who reap the benefits. Rich businessmen, nobles and bureaucrats take everything from the workers, giving back absolutely nothing. It's time to change. Oh, for Jesus. Dante and his classmates crowded around the dorm's television with great anticipation. It seemed everyone was gathered once in the lounge, desperate for any sort of news of the recent political events that had transpired. Dante and all his friends, though it seemed like everyone these days was a committed socialist, after years of fascism though, Dante knew he never suffered like his parents did under the tyrant Mussolini. The country had transitioned to democracy. Due to further liberalisation of the government and its laxing of political restrictions, Dante and thousands of fellow students were exposed to ideals they had never heard of before. Ideas like the works of Karl Marx, Amedeo Bordiga, and Antonio Gramsci. Gramsci, yeah? Contemporary figures such as Enrico Berlinguer, or whatever his name is, Enrico, I'm just going to call him Enrico, were miraculously able to capture Dante and his compatriots' newfound radicalism and channel it in a more tightly honed expression of discontent. But it seems that despite all the political education organising on the part of the students, it was all going out the window. Dante didn't care. For the triumphant moment of the working class had come. Or at least Dante hoped, because just as easily things could go south really fast. Hence the ever overcrowding lobby full of socialist radicals of all stripes. What was taking them so damn long? And then, as if on cue, the screen flashed, and the two men Dante was expecting appeared on screen. Dante held his breath as his fears were calmed, and hope sent skyrocketing through the roof. His confident smirk transformed into a wide smile as Pietro Nini heralded a new age for Italy. There was Berlinguer standing side by side with Nini, the powerful imagery not escaping Dante. Two most popular social figures of Italy, standing exultantly next to each other like old comrades, represented the new, fully unified working class who were mobilised against the forces of capital. This arrangement of political parties were now under the single commanding banner of social liberation. With a leap out of his seat, Dante gathered his friends around him. Now is the time. It is our duty to aid Comrade Berlinguer and the working class in ushering this new era of Italian socialism. Dashing over the building, followed the first few. Dante made for the nearby town square. There, right in the centre, stood a 7.62 metre flagpole, flag of the old order flying limply in the air. Dante, with all the vigour he could muster, climbed to the top. As he climbed, he called out to the plain red for a plain red banner. With the banner of the working people in one hand, he tore off the old Italian flag and replaced it with the banner of the future. Climbing to the top, Dante You can see for miles around other squares and poles, and lowering of the old flag and raising of the red banner. Yet some, if not more, still flew the old national flag, probably along with the banner of socialism. Truly the people's was in the Senate of this country, and Dante couldn't be more pleased. Okay, great. Fantastic. So we've peacefully done it this time. Good. Good. Right, so acceptable safety regulations. Good. The army's not going to be very happy. Good pensions and moderate radicalism. That's what we get out of all of them. I also need to go ahead and do all that. The battleground. Ah yes, the United States and Japan. We're going to win the first round in Romania. Good. Let's go ahead and do this. Rally international support. More than 40 years, the place become a dictatorship with obvious consequences to how the free world looked at us. Now we return to the light of democracy. We should put a great amount of effort into reassuring all democratic countries that we won't betray freedom again. The usual critics. I don't care for that one. I'm not reading our massive one right now. I don't care for that one. See, I can't even improve it now because this still fucking balls up. Unless I give Bosnia to Croatia. Do you know what? Let's see if that fixes it. It's worth trying something. No, it's like they don't bloody exist. Okay, we're sending out invitations. World Peace Council. For too many years, war has been at the forefront of every nation's diplomatic efforts. In less than 50 years, we have fought the two bloodiest wars in human history. No longer, as one of the victors of the last war, a newly democratic nation, is our test to foster amiable relations between our countries. Well, not all my listeners were confident that those who believe in peace over senseless war are way more than those who merely wish for death and violence. Yes, stuff the Germans. Yeah, sadly that didn't fix it. Who the hell even has a claim? Oh, that's Bosnia's got an intrusive flag, I forgot about that. See, but that's completely broken. Completely broken. Shame we lost the Greeks, I wish we could get them back. Okay, the struggle for anti-fascist unity. People of Italy, don't be afraid to voice your opinion. Freedom is nothing but empty shelf. It doesn't include the right to criticise the government. Now you can all finally discuss what future you envision our beautiful country. Yes, yes they can. World Peace Council meets. He knew he would not admit to anyone, but he was a bit nervous. While the World Peace Council was to a large extent his brainchild, there was always the worry that it would backfire spectacularly. His main worry was the number of translators roaming around, chatting with each other in English and exchanging notes. Surely as much whispering during the speech. To inaugurate the council would detract from the fiery relevance of his words. He not have worried. The audience, a varied assortment of activists, academics and diplomats, listened attentively, with their eyes fixed on him, as translators whispered into their ears. Sanzo Nosaka, the Japanese communist whose entry into the room had caused a stir, was nodding vigorously to his colleague's whisper. As he spoke, Nini picked out other figures he had informed about by his advisors. From the US, Dorothy Day, a Catholic pacifist and a folk singer called Phil Ox. From Britain, Hugh Brock, a journalist. And from Spain, Lorenzo Vidal, a writer. When he was countryman, he recognised himself. Ernesto Balducci, a dissident priest, had come up to him and shaken his hand, whereas the relative lack of politicians of much importance stung at first. Nini would see it later on as a blessing. People in the room would talk freely, caring for the best ideas and not national interests, and just perhaps a seed sown here would be the beginning of a wider legacy. Something really felt in Nini's life surfaced, a sense of humility. He cut his speech short after a few pages, wearying of tiring everyone before discussion even began, and gestured openly towards the audience. Now, my friends, who wishes to address the World Peace Council? Simpler bureaucracy. Collapse of underground state unity. Is that how the polls? That's how the polls fall. They just fell peacefully. Or an inside job from the Germans, potentially. The world calls and Italy answers is definitely the two we're going to be doing. It's a nice combination. Not maintain the hegemony, that seems a bit pointless. Why am I clicking on the button when I'm looking at the flipping tree? Push for electoral reform. The oldest several laws granted absolute majority to the list, which achieved even a single vote more than all others. Even after Ciano repealed them, we believe that the new electoral law doesn't ensure fair representation to all political forces. So are we just binning the laws now? No passaran. All Annie needed to do was go to the grocery store and get eggs. Ah, yes, right, yes. We know about this. She's joined the march. We know the story. We know how it ends. We know what happens. Let's not waste time looking at it again. Yes, I know we've got stuff to research down here. Oh. 3 to 4. I'll take the risk. Push for electoral reforms. Done. Simpler bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is like air. It is vital for any country, and when everything is good, you don't even notice it. But when it fails to fulfill its duties towards the people, the nation chokes to death. In our effort to restore the democratic institution of Italy, we mustn't forget the bureaucracy and accessibility by the common citizen. Too many are forced to suffer an often tyrannical administration, and too many are excluded from the chance to better their condition. And we're still losing PP. Fair way of voting. I don't care about the voting system. I'm not reading that one. I have very little interest in that. Oh, well. How many is at war now? Can they ever win? I don't know if they can ever win. I'm gonna see if we've balls. Oh, we've flippin' done it. We've done it. Right. Peace, liberty, and whatever that one is. Peace, freedom. Oh, it's not. It's peace, freedom, and work. Okay. Finally, the groundwork has been laid. We are ready to start implementing our greatest reforms. We shall now concentrate on 3 principles which have shaped our electoral promises. In the name of peace, we shall refrain from oppressing the lands within our sphere of influence, setting the stage for a true community of equals rather than the rabble of puppets manoeuvred by puppeteer. In the name of freedom, we shall repeal all fascist laws. In the name of work, finally, we'll ensure that no work is exploited by business, and no man or woman in Italy must beg for a job to feed their family with. Good. Now we can do repurposing old tools, the Italian miracle, we can get non-socialist trade unions allowed, a few pollution regulations, subsidize higher education, all this good stuff, because hopefully we'll finish off this tree. Not too bothered about that bit of the tree. I'll do want to do the economic part before we get to 1970. Might have to eventually place them off cam just to get through the years, because we do have obviously the content for when the oil collapse happens. And the 3, can we get lucky again? It's got a stable union right now. They complete the dam yet? No, they have not. Alright, let's do repurposing our old tools. While instituted in the fascist era, the IRI actually fits perfectly in our new economic doctrine, maintaining the basic principles of free market while intervening with a powerful public company to prevent industrial collapses, or force smaller businesses to align to our new reforms, or face total economic annihilation. As an American ambassador to Italy, Clara, both loose, was often kept busy, whether it was simple administrative tasks or complex negotiations with various higher-ups of Italy. Ever since the Italians had managed to reform into democracy, she had watched with ever-mounting horror as the Italians had somehow managed to pick the Socialists, of all people, to lead their nation. Of course, she understood why. The Italian people were greatly disillusioned with fascism, and therefore swung hard in the opposite direction the second they had a chance. That's actually a good way of looking at it, because that's technically really what did happen. In any case, it seemed as if the FD had brought a new tomorrow for Italy. To Italy. Her job had expanded greatly, as the American government took much great interest in Italy. The government has only grown in popularity as its new programs have managed to raise employment levels beyond projections. To most people, Lucy's fears would have seemed like paranoid mongering. Revolution knew better. It was almost too easy in this day and age to make things seem much better than they were. The improved employment was nothing but a sham, an attempt to pull the wool over the eyes of the Italian people. These leftists had a sinister goal in mind, that it seemed only Luce could see: the implementation of a communist dictatorship. The communist FD needed the will of the people in order to achieve their goal, and their pathetic lies were how they earned it. For now, sadly, all Luce could do was grin and bear it, as an anti-communist coup at this juncture could only lead to the country sliding towards communism. Hopefully the Italian people would free themselves from this menace, just as they had done fascism. An eagle watches the wolves. Yeah, we are really going for a socialist dictatorship now. That's the only sad thing. But oh well. Oh well. That's what I say to that. Oh bloody well. And of course, because won again. Of course, that was set in stone. And there we go. I knew that was coming as well. I was just about to say Germany's going to be doing some warring. And there it is. Ah, we've won 9. That's fine. Right, free military factories. We'll just pop one there. Now we get the next couple bolt. They'll go there. Now our old tools are being repurposed. Let's go for modernising the education system. Despite the Reforma Gentile, perhaps only positive legacy of fascism, our education system is sorely lacking. While lower instructions have been assured to almost everyone, higher education is still reserved for the rich or the powerful, ensuring that a farmer's son, despite being able to read and count, will never become anything more than what his father was. Which is not great. The Italian miracle. A new work site was being set up just outside the city. And honestly, it's a miracle made of brick and steel, whatever that is. Too much reading for me once again. It's too much. Just too much. Well. Oh, there's a tiny little bit of fascism. Giano's still in charge of them. Authoritarian democracy. Giano, would you like to come back to the government? Right, so I take it we resolve our economy in here. Can we actually, like, or is it the end? No, we've already seen that. Who knows, right? Anyways, I've done it again. Let's empower the unions. The unions are the linchpin of socialism. They organise and protect the workers from factory level up to the national stage and parley with the owners to improve work conditions and salaries. In light of their role, we shall ensure that they are able to actually fulfill their role without fear of being harmed by the business owners and their cronies. Yes, the unions will now have power they've not had, well, ever. Let's get support weapons 5. And I'm going to leave that episode there, so thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall be back very soon for another episode. Until then, take care. Sure, bye. Then now.